Good morning, good afternoon, depending
Good
where you are in
morning.
the world.
Good morning and good afternoon also from myself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webcast today. We're going to share more about IBM Workload Automation, our newest release, version 10.1. This is a really exciting quarter for us to celebrate the latest enhancements of the product and to share them with you today. We'd ask that you please add your questions in the chat box, and we will answer them as we go, either through the chat or verbally. So to start, my name is Grace Williamson. I'm the product manager for IBM Workload Automation, or also known as Workload Scheduler. And Marco Cardelli also joins me today, and he is my colleague leading the product management for IBM Workload Automation, representing HCL. For our agenda today, we will provide you an overview of Workload Automation. We'll briefly discuss how the product is aligned with the customer's cloud journeys today. And thirdly, you'll be interested to learn about our ever-evolving Automation Hub. It has over 80 plugins for immediate download. We're excited to share. And finally, we'll share the new features of version 10.1, which is packed with new and improved automation capabilities for your organization's unattended processes. Now, together as IBM and HCL, we are making automation history, as you'll see at the top here. And that began over 3 decades ago with industrial automation that you see in the 90s and spanning to today with intelligent automations. In 2016, IBM and HCL entered an IP partnership, and it's rather unique because the brand was not divested from IBM. Sometimes you see that in other acquisitions, but this relationship is unique and different. The development and the support of the product are provided by HCL, and sales and product management are doubled and managed by both companies, IBM and HCL. So together, we are committed to make this the best automation platform tool on the market. And with a long history that you see here, this certainly doesn't mean that the product is old. In fact, it's a highly modernized product. And the various components in automation and AI only continue to expand into modernization and improvement. Now we'll move into an overview of workload automation. You can see here that it is known as the AI-driven scheduler for the cloud, and it's automating large-scale, unattended, and mission-critical intelligent automations, really, that any business can use and has to use to successfully operate. So with the workload automation's ability to provide a central point of control for automation, you can think of it as a spoke and hub concept that's visualized there on the left on that computer monitor. So workload automation is functioning as an enterprise automation hub, and it's automating and coordinating business and IT together at the same time. So clients are using workload automation to orchestrate business outcomes. They're automating enterprise resource management applications like SAP, like Oracle, PeopleSoft, Salesforce, others that you see on the top there, to complete their use cases like closing the books at the end of the year or generating reports, for example. So along these lines, workload automation, it also orchestrates IT automation in context of those business outcomes through tools that you see on the bottom there, like Chef, Ansible, Terraform, the big 4 clouds, and even on System Z. Well, what else do you need to know about workload automation and workload scheduler? Well, they're the same thing. They're functionally equivalent in code. However, workload automation is priced per job, and workload scheduler is a traditional PVU-based entitlement model. And so the benefit there is offering organizations 2 different pricing models. It's providing a hybrid approach for your organization. So we're providing a couple of options for you with on-prem licenses where you run and you manage environments, but also offered on the cloud where we host customer environments. So that hybrid mix of both license types allows for optimal cost, and in the process, you're able to deploy workloads in native cloud as well. So Again, the product is highly modernized. It's Red Hat certified and IBM Kubernetes certified in best practices. There were over 3,000 criteria that were required to meet those certifications. So we're really proud of that and the ability to move with the IBM ecosystem and IBM strategy there. And you'll see here, workload automation is transformed from traditional batch or job scheduling really into intelligent automation. It's gone from overnight processing. An example that I use a lot of times is waiting until the morning to find out the value of your investment accounts. That just doesn't fly today. So now clients can use it throughout the day for continuous processing, seeing how the value of an investment account changes over time, for example. So clients are continually updating their accounts payable, accounts receivable, or other ERM applications. Okay, now we will move into discussing our approach to digital transformation. So this is what every customer is facing right now in the market. Many have started the transformation a few years ago with their traditional platforms or applications that we would consider more legacy systems. And the installation of these products on cloud environments was the first step in moving applications to the cloud, including workload automation. We were right there from the beginning. And we recognize that business processes are interconnected with platforms and various systems. So we are helping to connect those disparate systems to really complete a musical piece of art. You see the music notes here on the slide, really orchestrating these various pieces together, various systems. So then as a final step, customers are then headed in the direction to be cloud native, and they have applications that are needed to be containerized and even based on thousands of microservices. So starting with 9.5, which was our next to last major release, the product became fully containerized to provide that option and make it easier for customers to achieve the full transformation. So with that, we are moving along with customers in the transformation process, and workload automation is also going through a digital transformation at the same time. And we know that the future is hybrid with legacy systems like the mainframe in use, but also bringing in modern applications. Now, moving on, what workload automation can do for you. So our key value proposition of workload automation is the tagline, automate more, automate better. Because over the years, it's really become an automation platform. It's considered an orchestrator that can enable digital transformation of customers with a single point of control. That single point of control is able to manage all of the workflows, even managing a mainframe engine and a distributed engine. So both of those platforms. It's allowing integration of multiple automation scenarios with the Automation Hub marketplace. And I mentioned before that provides over 80 plugins out of the box provided to customers. Marco will go into more detail on that in a moment. And this single point of control, it offers a web user interface that includes improved graphical views and dashboards that really help customers to monitor their entire environments. And finally, workload automation provides the prediction and guarantee of SLA compliance. So really, your unattended processes are reliable, and we're making sure that they're successful. And you'll see here on the bottom that you can run anywhere from on-premises to Kubernetes. Whether that's mainframe or standard Unix platforms to Kubernetes deployed platforms, the product being containerized allows you to deploy the product anywhere. And lastly, workload automation is well positioned in the analyst community, recognized as a value leader in the last two reports of the EMA Radar report in 2019 and 2021. So that's another accomplishment we're very proud to share with you today. And with that, we will now get into the unique features of workload automation that Marco will share with you.
Okay, thank you, Grace. So before going to watch the new features of version 10, I would like to give you a short recap of what we did in the previous version, 9.5, because it was a very important version, new release for the product, where we restructured the prerequisites and the infrastructure used for the product in order to allow the containerization of all the distributed components. So the first point of 9.5 is that now it's possible to deploy all the IBM Workload Automation or scheduler components, distributed components, on containers, in particular also on Kubernetes platforms. We are certified for OpenShift, but also on other Google, cloud providers like Google Cloud, Amazon, and Azure Kubernetes platforms. So we are actually certified for all of them. And so it's very important to learn about this, because the deployment of the product on container, it's a way to simplify a lot the installation, make it very easy and quick, because you just need to start a container with the image of the product preloaded. You don't have to really install anything, just configure the product. Another important part is that also we can manage containerized applications. So the containerization for the product is fundamental, because on one side, we can deploy the product on container, but we can also manage containerized applications, we either deploying the agent together with the application, or in the same container, or for example, with some of our plugins that we provide for these scenarios, like the REST API generic plugin, or the Kubernetes plugin that allow us to start and stop containers in a Kubernetes platform. So there are remote plugins that can help you to manage containerized application. And this is a very important scenario for now and the future. Another very important accomplishment of 9.5 is that we created the Automation Hub, the place where we showcase all our integrations. We used to have, before 9.5, a few integrations, maybe 30 or 40, something like that. But with 9.5, we started to invest a lot in this area, because we believe it's important for our customers to automate many different domains. So to keep at the minimum the number of automation tools that they have to install in their IT environment, and as much as possible, orchestrate many automation scenarios from a unique product, IBM Workload Automation. So we decided to move all the plugins, to deploy the new plugins, to publish them on this website, where you can find all the information for each plugin. And also you can get a link where you can download the plugin. Please keep in mind that all the integrations that we provide are out of the box, if developed and delivered by IBM and HCL. And there are a few instead that are provided by business partners. And in that case, you need to directly deal with the business partner to get it. And perhaps you will be charged for something. But all the ones that we developed directly are out of the box and part of your standard entitlement licenses. We still invest on the mainframe. So we have both an agent that runs on mainframe that can be managed by a distributed server, as well as we have a dedicated Z engine that can manage even end-to-end distributed jobs. So we have a full end-to-end solutions available with two engines that are mostly equivalent from a functional point of view. And For the mainframe part, we are especially also working on the modernization of the interfaces. So we are allowing our customers to connect to the Z engine using REST API, using Zoe, that is an open source tool available to interact with the mainframe in a very similar way as you interact with all cloud applications. We have also the dynamic workload console, a web user interface available for both engines. So you have multiple ways to connect to a mainframe engine in a very modern way. We also delivered new dashboards with 9.5 and very easy to customize so that you can actually decide which will be the content to show, personalize it, share it with other users, even allow external content to be part of it, because you can decide to associate to a widget any data source, even from an external product, as long as it's providing a REST API interface. Then another strong point of 9.5 was the delivery of this feature called workflow folders that allow our customers to manage the concept of line of business in their organization within our definition. So they can organize their database objects in folders, in a hierarchy of folders, where also security and monitoring filters can be based on these folders. So basically, it's a way to support a multi-tenant environment within one product installation. This is particularly useful for customers who are using our product to manage their own customers. They can even, look at their workloads separately without seeing anything else than what they are allowed to. Just another, I already talked about the Automation Hub. Just to give you an idea, right now we have more than 80 plugins. We are working to produce new ones with a continuous delivery process so that we don't have to wait product fix packs to get new integrations. They are just published on the Automation Hub, and you can get them immediately as they are published. Here we have a categorization of the different integrations in many disciplines. Of course, they can be used from multiple industries. We have ERP integrations like SAP, Oracle Business, and PeopleSoft are maybe the most commonly used. We have big data and ETL, so you can even orchestrate Informatica applications, Power Center, Data Stage, Cognos, and so on, Hadoop for big data. Then we have, in particular, many integration with cloud services and even method queues on cloud, in cloud environment, or other queues, more traditional products like WebSphere, MQ, Java, or web services. We have a lot of different database and file transfer tools where we integrate with. As I was already saying, we integrate with many different cloud services, especially for the three main cloud providers that are AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. So you can manage complex workflows in just orchestrating them from our product. One of the most recent categories are RPAs. So RPAs are very popular in this period, but it's also very often necessary for our customers to orchestrate their RPA tools bots with an external orchestrator. And our product can do that. In particular, we are integrated with Automation Anywhere. We are publishing the UiPath plugin in these days. We are integrated with Blue Prism, and we plan to deliver very soon also the integration for the IBM RPA tool. So this is just a first glance at the integration we provide. This is a very important part of our strategy. So I invite you to go and look and visit our Automation Hub, where you can even download a free development kit and build your own integration. So now is the great moment to discover the new features of version 10.1. We have, it's been a very, hard work to deliver it. And it was also developed in a special period, like during a pandemic. So we have been working remotely from our houses to develop this release and deliver it. And that's a very important accomplishment. So now, before going into the details and the three main topics of this new release, I think we can take a look at the interesting video that will give you some ideas of what are the contents of version 10. Can we please show the video?
Welcome to the IBM Workload Scheduler 10.1, a version full of incredible features, such as the renewed Workload Designer, a one-stop automation modeling that streamlines the workflow definition. Get ready and automate faster under the guidance of contextual help. The managed file transfer, an integration to orchestrate and optimize the data transfer and processing. Move your files between agents and connect them to your business processes. The AI Data Advisor, IDA, a built-in intelligence that enhances operational experience by detecting anomalies for the overall workload or selected jobs.
Okay, so I think we're back to the standard presentation. I hope you enjoyed this short video where basically we are announcing the main wows of this new version 10. So let me go again through it, and then I will give you more details going one by one. So first of all, empowering your automation with AI means enhancing your operational experience with the product using AI intelligence. We are delivering a new AI engine, a small component available on a container that is able to perform analysis of historical workload execution data. The second wow of version 10 is about data transfer, basically what is normally known as managed file transfer capabilities. We were already providing a plugin to perform file transfer based on FTP protocols. It's called File Transfer Plugin. And within the same interface, we added a new protocol, which is not really just a protocol. We are allowing to move the files using our dynamic agents or decentric agents if you are in a Z configuration. So basically, we are providing an agent-to-agent file transfer capability into the product out of the box. No extra charge for this. And this, together with the plugins we provide for integrating with more managed file transfer tools and RPA tools and big data applications. So basically, we allow you to optimize your data transfer operation by building a workflow that includes them, all of them, in workload automation. So that's a very important statement for our product. One-stop automation modeling is an important investment in the area of our web user interface. We completely renewed the modeling part of it to modernize the technology, make it more easy to use, provide new features, and allow you to define in a very simple and easy way your workflows to bridge your IT and business applications. Now let me go into more details for each of them. And before doing that, just another insight into one more feature that enhances the operational experience of the product. It's making our product observable. That's a very important step for us. Observability is the evolution of the traditional monitoring and application performance management that used to, we used to have integration with old tools like the ITM products or traditional tools in general for monitoring our product together with all the rest of your IT environment. What's new is that this way to monitor applications is no more adequate to monitor modern cloud environments, cloud native environments where there are applications built on microservices where you need to monitor multiple processes executing possibly in different Kubernetes clusters. It's a very complex IT environment to monitor, and there's need of a new discipline to do that in a better way. It's called observability. It's based on three main telemetries that are named metrics, logs, and traces. So being observable for a product means to be enabled to collect data with these three different metrics, telemetries, actually. So metrics was already delivered on 9.5, so we started to be observable over there. We provide logs in JSON format with version 10.1, so it's already available. Traces will come soon. We are actually waiting for the infrastructure to be ready to do it with the most important open standard of the moment, which is open telemetry. So basically, we are using open standards to provide this data, and so we can integrate with multiple products. The most important integration for the IBM ecosystem is with the automation tools, the other automation tools in the IBM portfolio. So we're talking about Instana. IBM Instana is the IBM observability tool. We talk about Turbonomic, that is for performance management. We talk about IBM Watson AIOps. So Watson AIOps is the IOps tool that will then provide AI intelligence to analyze all the data collected through Instana. So this is, let's say, the perfect IBM ecosystem to observe not only the workload automation infrastructure, but also all the workloads that we submit and track. So we provide information about the workload execution with the logs telemetry. If you are not using one of these tools that are common in an IBM ecosystem, we still are able to integrate with all the tools that you see here displayed, like Splunk, Dynatrace, Datadog, New Relic, Elastic, because they all support the open standards that we used to provide the data. So this is another important part of version 10, and will be also part of our next deliveries. So now let's look at the three main wows of the new release, in particular workload automation enhanced with AI machine learning. In general here, we have already a few features that use machine learning to provide some intelligence. We do have that for we use it for a prediction of estimated duration of the jobs. But in this case, we are providing a new way to enhance the operational experience through AI. So we have 3 or 4 different scenarios in our vision for the future. And one of these was actually implemented with version 10. So we're talking about anomaly detection, noise reduction about alerts and messaging, root cause analysis for job issues, and suggestions for fixing them, so self-healing, and user effectiveness on the dynamic workload console. So, for example, suggestions for the fields, how to fill some fields in your definitions, or perhaps in some cases, which feature you could use, and so on. We are starting now with 10.1 with the anomaly detection. We delivered a new component. It's called AI Data Advisory that is available on container, so it's deployable on a container. What it does, it uses big data and machine learning and analytics technologies for an early detection of problems in your workload execution. Basically, trying to understand if there is anything that is going different from expected. So perhaps comparing the execution of today's workload with previous similar dates, I would say. So, for example, it could be same day of the previous week, or it could be perhaps the end of the working day, the last working day of the month. Then you probably have a different kind of workload because maybe there are some operations to close the month, and so on. I mean, you can compare your today's workload with some other dates, analyze the component, analyzes historical data, it provides alerting if there is the detection of an anomaly. In that case, you have also a specific UI to analyze historical data for jobs and workstation with analytics information. So let's see which is the flow, which are the key features and the benefits. An anomaly is detected by the tool. So here, workload automation provides historical data, execution data to this AI data advisor component, publishing this data through open metrics. The tool gets all this data and performs its analysis. And if it detects an anomaly, it will send an alert. The alert can cause to send an email, or it could also be an alert for the UI operator, so the web user interface operator. This is a proactive approach because in this way you get informed in advance before there is an issue, before you have a problem, and you may miss one of your deadlines. And in this way, you can react before the problem is really becomes a real problem. So there is the historical data analysis. You can, after you are alerted, you can launch the AI Data Advisor UI. You can also use the historical data view on the dynamic workload console. And in this way, perform an analysis and understand what's the problem. At that point, you can resolve the problem before you have an impact on your business. So that's a very important feature for us. Currently, what you can do is to perform anomaly detection either on the overall workload or on a set of individual jobs. So, for example, your milestones, your critical jobs. You can decide which of the two approach you want to take. With this feature, we want to empower your operators and each of them can become a power operator, where for power operator, we mean those operators who have a long experience working with the product, can understand at a glance, looking at the monitoring dashboard, how it's going. So just recapping, workload automation data are published through open metrics. The AI component reads this data, detects anomaly. In that case, there is an alert. You can launch the UIs and investigate the problem. Now let's talk about the new file transfer capabilities. So we had already announced the user interface of the detailed view for file transfer operations to provide many details, the details of each file transfer that is part of the job, many statistics about the file transfer execution, prediction on when on the estimated completion time, and so on. Now we are extending the same kind of interface to a new protocol that is executed agent to agent. So your dynamic agents, your Z-centric agent can be used to move the files in your environment without using an FTP server or another tool. You can install, there is a new component, it's called file proxy, that will take care of moving the files between agents. It's deployable either with a traditional installation or in its containerized version. Can be part of the distributed server installation, so integrated with the distributed engine, or it can also be a standalone component, and that will work both in a distributed or a Z environment. Why do you want to have it as a standalone component? That, for example, that could be a decision to take when you want to move a lot of different files. So if you're planning to use many different files, maybe it's better to have a standalone component rather than overloading the server. The standalone component can be also configured in high availability. I can see a question that is specific to this topic, so maybe I will try to answer it immediately. Okay, so it's not really a question about file transfer. They want to know if they need, they have a Z engine and they want to know if they need both ZWS and AWA and an engine to manage cloud and containers. Not necessarily. You can also manage everything from the Z engine if you want. and you can use the same plugins. You just need to have decentric agents and the dynamic workload console. If you prefer to have everything under a distributed engine, that's also possible because we support both end-to-end scenarios. The only point here is that it depends on how much is the workload on the Z system, so you can get suggestion from us which is the best configuration for you, but both can work. Let me proceed with the presentation of the file transfer part. So a recap of the capabilities we provide with the managed file transfer. You can monitor file transfer jobs in a dedicated dashboard that is filtered only on file transfer jobs. You can have multiple file transfer operations defining the same job and then executing in parallel because they use a multi-thread. You can rerun each of these file transfer from the point of failure if you have a problem. You can even decide to retransfer just one of the files that are in the same job. You can use wildcards and regular expressions to rename the file after the transfer is completed. And you can use this feature to move files also to and from the environments. Now let's move to the last point of this presentation. So the new Workload Designer. It's a new, completed, renewed modeling part, which provide a streamlined way to have a single access point for the design of all the workload automation objects. It's obviously based on security authority and includes all the objects like also workstations, event rules, and application template is integrated in the new Workload Designer. So what are the improvements? There is an improved search functionality. There's a hierarchical view of the objects listing based on folders if you use them. And you can also edit multiple objects at the same time. There is a new Explore area. It's much faster, more responsive, and has a very intuitive user interface. The new landing page of the Workload Designer gives you a full picture of the folders that you have defined and of the workstation status, definition status. So you get at one glance a good look at your definitions arranged in folders and the workstations. It's also possible to customize the Explore area, and also you can order the counters or pass to a different compact view based on your preferences. Of course, the folders are not available for the Z engine, so you will have a different view on the if you are using a Z engine. Also, the Workload Designer tables allow you to organize the columns and data view, so you can arrange them in the way you like. Also, the workspace area is smart and flexible. It's a single point of access for all the objects. It has a vertical layout it's streamlining the browsing of the objects and also the editing, because you see everything in the same panel, just scrolling. And you can switch from an object to another very easily. There is an increased focus on the most important actions. And also, I would like to mention that there is an helping context that is very nice to use. So it changes directly depending on the area where you have the focus. So that's, I think, a major improvement in the usability of our modeling. So I guess that we have completed the presentation of the new features of version 10. Now maybe we are ready for a recap.
Thank you, Marco. And thanks, everyone. If you have any questions, I think we do have time to open the floor if you'd like to submit any questions in the meantime. And as you're thinking of those questions, we do have here some important links for you to check out. The IBM Marketplace, where you can find everything about workload automation and the latest version 10.1. The Automation Hub that Marco described in detail, the various plugins that are new and most recent to the hub. We encourage you to go and investigate and see which automation scenarios you might apply to your environment. And then the Workload Automation community. There are live forums there, discussions that we would encourage you to be involved in. And our YouTube channel, Workload Automation YouTube channel, has a lot of how-to videos, information about how to apply these different features in your environments. So we would encourage you to visit there as well. And finally, please do reach out to us. We are happy to set up a product roadmap session with you to talk in more detail about where we're headed. We would also be glad to schedule a demo with our tech sales team. So our contact information is here. You'll see my email, Marco's email, and our HCL sales director, John DuBois, his email is also there for sales-specific questions that you might have. So please do reach out. We look forward to hearing from you. And at this time, I do not see any more questions. We'll give it another minute or so to see if there are questions.
Yes, let's see if there are any curiosity about the new release or anything else concerning the product. We are ready here to reply to you. And of course, if you don't have time now, please get our email from the presentation and write to us. Okay, there is a question. One of your earlier slides stated workload scheduler uses PPU licensing and workload automation uses per job licensing. Does this mean mixed model is no longer supported? Here the answer, no. I mean, it's a mixture of different licenses. If you want, you can use the mixed model. It's supported since version 9.4 and is still supported also in the future. We don't see a reason why we should not. And but it will be a mixture of PVU licensing and per job licensing. So you can do that. Let's see if there are any more questions.
When will IWS 9.4 go out of support? Let me check the date to make sure I get it correct here. Okay, 9.4 will reach end of support September 30th, 2023. And that announcement is planned to be released this September 2022, with information on EOS of 9.4. And of course, the replacement for 9.4 EOS would be the latest version 10.1.
Although, of course, you can also decide if you prefer to move to 9.5. They are 9.5 and 10.1 will be both supported for a certain number of years.
And are all of the technical manuals published? I think that might be be referring to IBM documentation,
I think so.
possibly, Marco. So
Yes, they are all available. Yes. You can go directly to the IBM doc link and find version 10.1 documentation on the website.
I can paste that link into the Q&A box. I'll do that now.
Okay.
Okay, another question about migration. Will it be possible to migrate directly from 9.5 to 10.1?
Yes. Yes. 9.5 and 10.1 have support the same kind of infrastructure. So there are no major changes from in the infrastructure. So you can start a new 10.1 engine and migrate the definitions in the database, no problem. There is, don't see the link in question window, only my question. So maybe was,
Oh,
okay.
maybe I only sent it to the individual. Let me try again here.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know if.
Okay, thanks
if you,
for the comment. It's a very nice comment from Chris. Hi, Chris. Hope we can meet at the UK user guide. Okay. Maybe I think there are no further questions.
Okay, thank you again for joining us today, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Bye. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.